we're going to talk about kind of the security culture. And this is really important, for your organization to create a culture of security. And this will help a lot. It will go a long, long ways. Because like I covered a little bit earlier, just one person at your organization that's careless, maybe they have admin access to something that's important, your donor database or something. I mean, one person can actually cause a huge amount of harm when it comes to online security because everything is so connected these days. So a culture that goes top down through your whole organization, so every person is concerned about security, will go a long way to helping you. So the first big thing is really responsibility. And I had that poll about, is someone responsible for your policies, right? So this is really a top-down approach. You want your C-level people and your president, everyone demonstrating good security practices. If in the office, the director of development has a post-it note with the donation platform password on her monitor, I mean, that doesn't send a good signal to everyone else about security. So it should be a top-down approach. Everyone can pitch in to help for security. And anyone who has access to anything sensitive at all should have at least some training on security, or they should at least have had delivered to them the policies, the best practices, and had that stuff communicated to them so they understand what they're supposed to do when it comes to security. Putting someone in charge of it is great. And nonprofits often don't have a CIO, chief information officer. They don't necessarily have a large IT team. Maybe they may work with a vendor like us or something. So put someone in charge of it, even if it's a vendor. If you have an internal person who that's at least part of their job, but maybe they rely on vendors for the nitty gritty things. And if you're a very large organization, or you are dealing with lots of donations, lots of money, lots of sensitive information, if you're in healthcare, if you have HIPAA to deal with, it is not a bad idea to get a regular audit, to just have an audit, at a certain point, by a third party to check your system. So those are some things that are very helpful for creating this culture of security we're talking about. And a big thing is guidelines. You can't fault your employees for having poor security practices if they don't even know what the policies are. So when it comes to your data and your security, draft official policies, make sure that's available to people. And you probably want to consult experts and potentially your counsel. If you have a counsel on retainer for your organization, if you have a law firm you work with, that's of course another person, another entity that should look at that and help you draft that. But document your official policies really well. Review those periodically with staff. You can't just say, this are our policies once and then never talk about it again. Maybe bring it up quarterly if you have quarterly staff meetings or some kind of, normal cadence of meetings and information that you give to people. Have the security policies be part of that. So have a plan too. Have a plan for things like breaches. If someone's laptop gets stolen, if your website gets hacked, have plans for these things. Document your plans and then test them too. A very common thing I've seen is nonprofits may have a backup of something. Oh, this is the backup of our donor database, but then they've never tested restoring the backup. So something happens, their data gets corrupted or stolen or something bad happens, and they go to restore from, they say, oh, we're okay, we have a backup, but then they can't get the backup actually working. So anything you can test, like test your backups or test, if someone's password gets compromised, test changing it everywhere if it has to be changed in like 20 places. So, plan for things can go wrong, for things to go wrong. And if you can test that plan, test your backups and things. So those are all very important things for creating this culture of security.